Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be doing my May TBR game. This is where I play my TBR game that I made up called The Field of Reeds. I don't know if that... I don't know. Anyway, it's based on a baseball field, and basically we have to go through this board and roll the dice as many times as it takes to get from home plate all the way to home plate. We just need to score a run to finish the game. And the dice that we use is based off of whether I won my TBR game from the previous month. So if I won, we'll be using a 20-sided die, or I have the choice to use a 20-sided die. If I lost, we have to use a 12-sided die. And I also have to take a punishment prompt, which kind of starts the game off. And that is my boyfriend's prompts. So he makes prompts, they're difficult, and if I don't finish my TBR from the previous month, I have to pick one of these and fulfill it. I have to immediately pick the book, and if I can double it up with something later in the game, that is allowed. So this game is fully inspired by other creators, including Sylvia over at Library Unbounded. She does the Lord of the Reeds and the Lord of the Reeds 2. And then one of my favorites is Stephanie at Stephanie's Bookverse. She plays TBR Star Hop. I love those games. I made mine in their image, so definitely go check them out. Their links are definitely down below. The rules of the game. So we have to get from home plate to home plate, rolling the dice as many times as it takes. We're gonna land on a couple of different tiles. So the first one is a blank tile. If I land on a blank tile, I will have to choose some cards. The cards are not near me right now, but here's an example of the card. There's 150 of these, I believe. And I collect these. It's like kind of like how you collect Pokemon cards or even baseball cards. So once I finish collections, I get a prize, such as spending a certain amount of money or buying a new Kindle or whatever. So that is that. If I land on a blank spot, I get a card. And if I complete the prompt on the card, I get to collect it and put it in my collection. If I don't finish the book, it goes back into the deck to be chosen again. The other tiles that we can land on is the TBR jar, and for the TBR jar, this is it right here. If you want to know what's in here, definitely check out this video right here. It has all of the books that I have no, not this one. This one is my TBR jar, which has various different challenges and stuff like that in here, so definitely check out that video if you want to know what exactly is in here. Also, if I don't end up finishing a punishment prompt, the book that I picked for that goes into the TBR jar, so I have to pick it again. Next we can land on a series tile, and this is a cup with all the different series that I'm in the middle of. If we land on first base, that means that we rolled over, easy ground out, we're out, and we have to go back to home. So we have to start over. And not only do we have to go all the way back to home plate, but we have to pick a book out of the popcorn bucket. The popcorn bucket has every single book that I own, physically, non-physically, basically that means digitally, that I have and have not yet read. So there's a lot in there. I have a lot of physical books, but also a lot of digital books, more digital books than I have physical. So we just have to pick one and read it. And we also have to back to the start. The same happens if I end up on second base. I have to go all the way back to the home. That means that I was trying to steal a base and caught stealing. I'm out. Gotta go back home. Now, if we land on third base, it's a little bit different. We only have to go back to second, because if we land on third, that means that we have a blown save. Our closer came in and the other team tied the game, and we don't get to win. But we could still win in the future. So what happens in baseball when we go to extra innings is that a person starts on second base. There's a ghost runner who starts on second. Whoever was out last starts at second. And that run counts. But because we are close to winning the game, we don't have to go all the way back to the beginning. We just have to go back to second base and try to get to home from there. Now, if we land on home plate, we get to remove a book from our TBR. If we don't land on home plate, if we just, we have 5 spaces left and we roll a 7, nothing special, just the end of the game, and I get to pick a book based on whatever I want. It's a free pick. But if I land on home plate, I get a free pick, but I also can remove another book from my TBR. It can't be the punishment book, and it can't be my free pick. I don't know why I would remove the free pick, but that's how it works. So let's see how I did last month to see whether we be pulling a punishment, or if I will be using a 12 or 20 sided die. So let's go over my TBR from last month. So first of all, my punishment was to pick a boyfriend prompt, and the boyfriend prompt was, I actually have it up here and can read it to you. It was, because I didn't finish the month before, that was kind of an impossible TBR, so not surprised. It was read a book based somewhere we want to go together. And that book I had picked The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, and I did read this one. The next one was pick a book with a political element. So that is a prompt card, and it was Beneath by Ariel Sullivan. The card is the Washington Nationals, pick a book with a political element. And I have not read this. However, I just finished one of the other books on this list, and I still have the rest of today and tomorrow to read. If I can get through like 100 pages of this, which I should be able to read 100 pages in the next 2 days, because it's also a day baseball game today. So the Sox will be over earlier, so I have tons of reading time tonight. Plus, they have an off day tomorrow, so I'll be able to have tons of reading time. So I definitely think that I will be able to read a good portion of this, and so it'll count for winning the game. But I don't think, if I can't finish it by tomorrow at midnight, then I won't be able to get the card, and that will go back into the collection. But I think that I should be able to start this and get a good portion of it done, which will count towards winning the game, but I won't get to collect the card. But that means we're still winning the game. The next one that I got was a read a mystery or thriller. That was another prompt card, and that was the Captain, which is read a mystery thriller. Now this is funny because this is a Texas Rangers mascot. He's a little horsey, and this book takes place partially in Austin, so that was fun. I did read this. The last thing he told me about Laura Dave, I did read it. Next was a series jar, and I got The Beast of the Briar. So the book that I was next was Woven by Gold by Elizabeth Helen, and I did read that one. Next was another prompt card, and it was No People on the Cover. And that prompt was for Globe Life Field, read a book with no people on the cover. I ended up doubling up with The Unhoneymooners, and like I already said, I did read that one. I read this in 2 days on the beach. I went on a cruise, and we went to like the islands each day, and I read this in 2 of the beach days, which was nice. Next, I got read a book that was published last year. I believe that's this one. Yes, On the Field. And the prompt is read a book that was published last year. It's The Infield, and I did read that. It is Our Infinite Fates. That's the one that I read, just finished this morning. Next, I had gotten the TBR jar, and I had pulled Wool by Hugh Howey. However, I ended up landing on Home at the end, and I could take a book off my TBR, so I took that one off. So that wasn't on my TBR, and I didn't read it. The next one that I got was a series tile, and it was to finish the summer series, which is The Summer I Turned Pretty, that series, and I did read that one. And then then I landed on Home, and I got to pick a free pick, and I picked Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter, and I did finish this one. So as long as I can read a good portion, let's say 50 to 100 pages of Beneath between tonight and tomorrow, which I will be able to do, I won. I won for the first time. I won my own TBR game. That's so exciting. So I'm going to be taking full advantage of that and using the 20-sided die. I'm very excited. And I have a good number of books that I want to get on my TBR. We'll go over other books that I plan to read this month if I don't get them onto my TBR at the end. But I'm very excited, and I earned all of my prompt cards except probably Beneath. I don't think I'll be able to finish it today and tomorrow. There's a possibility. It's like almost 500 pages. And on weeknights, I don't generally read. Like 100 pages is kind of the max that I get. So I could get to like 200 pages halfway through, and that would still count. But I think in order to count it towards the game, I can't have just read a few pages to count it as winning. So like I can't start April 30th and start it at 10 p.m. and read 10 pages and count it as winning. So, but I do have a day and a half, and I should be able to read a good portion of that in a day and a half, especially if it's good. I liked Conform. and it's the prequel to that one. So I won. I'm so excited. We're going to use the 20-sided die, and let's go into my rolls. I'm really excited to see what I can get this month, if it'll be a very short TBR, or if I'll land on one of the bases for the first time. So let's see how it goes. I'm pretty excited. I'm kind of scared that I'm only going to get a couple of books, like maybe like, I think when I've played like practice rounds, I think the least amount of books I ever got was like 2, because I got like a 20 and then a 20 and I landed on home plate or whatever, but the likelihood of that happening is very low. So let's go ahead and play the game. I'm excited. Here we go. So for my piece this month, I'm going to be using this shell. We didn't have a revolving sushi toy this month. We didn't go to revolving sushi, but this is a shell that I got on one of the beaches. And am I supposed to be taking that? No. Did I? Yes. Do I feel guilty about it? Actually, kind of. But I want to use it. So here we are. And I'm going to be using a 20-sided die for the first time. Here's all of our prompt cards. These are all the prompt cards that I've previously earned. I'm just going to put those to the side. I need to get like an album or something. I think that would be really cute. But I'm going to be rolling into this using the 20-sided die. Okay, exciting. Here's all the previous month's pieces that we've used. I do also have this ice cream cone ring that I haven't used, but you know, here we go. All right. What is that? What is that? It is a small number. It's a 5. That's fine. That's fine, I suppose. Oh, it was a 5, I swear. It wasn't 15. You saw it. It's fine. It's a 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we get our first prompt card. It is Cities, Cleveland. Read a book whose title starts and ends with the same letter. I think I've had this one before and I didn't fulfill it. So, okay, we can do that. All right, roll number 1, we got a 5. And for that, we got a prompt card, and it was read a book whose title starts and ends with the same letter. I am not gonna include the word the and a for this. I think that I had chosen serial killers last time. Oh, this is turned around because I was looking at it. But I had chosen serial killers last time. But I think I'm actually gonna change it up and be a little risky here and pick a longer book and pick The Raven Scholar. Because this fulfills quite a few prompts for Herkyed. It works for one of my other reading challenges, and it's going to work for like 3 Goodreads bookmarks. So it was really on my radar to read this month, and Raven Scholar. So it fits the prompt, and so that's what I'm going to go with for the first book. I may regret this because it's a longer one. It's like 600 something pages, but it is what it is. That's what we're going with. So The Raven Scholar is the first book on the TBR. Roll number 2. Here we go. It's a 17. Yeah, that could be bad. That could be good. I'm not sure. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait. 5, right? This was 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? Really? Really? I just got past second base already? That's awesome. Let me just make sure, because I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Nice. It's not exactly 10 between. I thought it was for a while, but it's not. So we got another prompt card. Very happy to do that. And we got the Cincinnati Reds, read a book with a red cover. Ooh, I think I know what I'm going to pick for this, because I definitely want to read a book that has a red cover. Yay. Okay. Okay, so then we rolled to 17. And we got the team, a National League team, the Cincinnati Reds, and read a book with a red cover. That prompt works. I am going to go with An Ember in the Ashes. I've never read this. It has been recommended a billion times. Even before I started really getting into reading in YouTube, when I read Throne of Glass, this was constantly recommended, like on my Kindle. I think I have a sample of it on my Kindle. I ended up buying it not that recently. Oops, I just something. But I'm going to read An Ember in the Ashes. I really have wanted to read this for a while. Again, it's on the longer side. It's like almost 450 pages. So it looks thicker than I think it actually is. but I'm gonna read this one. It's the physical copy. The Raven Scholar, I don't think I mentioned, but I have it on my Kindle. I don't actually have it in person, which is fine. I don't mind reading stuff off my Kindle. So that's gonna be book number 2 on the TBR. Okay, roll number 3. Roll number 3. Is that a 17 again? Oh my gosh. This is great. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Prompt card again. Okay. And it is Pitcher's Mound. Read a book with shadow or flame on the cover. Okay, I'm not sure, but I will see what there is. Okay, next we got another 17. This game is going so quickly. So we got the Pitcher's Mound, which is on the field, and read a book with shadow or flame on the cover. This was kind of hard for me to decide because I was looking through like all of my top books here and then looking at my challenges and was like, what am I gonna pick? And then this was on the back, Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I think I wanna reread Red Rising first, but then I'm gonna read Golden Sun. And I am excited to read this one. I really enjoyed the first one. I think I'll really like this. I may own Red Rising on actual audio, so it'd be cool if I could listen to it and then read this one. I know I have a copy of Red Rising, but I lent it out to a friend, so I don't currently have it with me, and I don't think I'm gonna be getting it back by the end of the month, but this obviously has flame on it, so it works for shadow and flame, and I'm excited to read this. Been wanting to read it for a couple of months, so excited to pick up that one. Okay, roll number 4? Roll number 4. If we get a 3, I get to remove a book from my TBR. I don't know how I would do that because there's only 4 books, but it is a 6. So I don't get to remove a book, but I get to pick a free pick. That's very exciting. So that was very short, only 4 books. I think I'll be able to beat my TBR again. I still have never had to pull from the popcorn jar, which is kind of crazy, honestly. So we'll see. Hey, and then we landed, we got a 16. 16? No, we got a 6. We got a 6, and that was the free pick. So I get to pick any book that I want, and I'm gonna go ahead and make my life a little easier on myself and pick my in-person book club book. It is The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. I have only read one book by her, Me Before You. I thought it was good at the time. I liked it at the time, but I think that I've since learned that the disability rep wasn't the best, but I still liked it at the time. I haven't gone back and reread it. I read that many years ago, like probably 10 years ago, maybe. I don't know when it was published, but I read it a while ago. This is our book club book for the month. I have an in-person book club with my girlfriends. And we meet once a month. Our next meeting is on May 9th, so I do need to finish this rather early in the month. I haven't started it yet. I just got it in the mail. But yeah, The Giver of Stars. I'm not really sure what this is about. Alice Wright marries a handsome American, Bennett Van Cleve, hoping to escape her stifling life in England, but small-town Kentucky quickly proves equally claustrophobic. When a call goes out to the team of women to deliver books as part of Eleanor Roosevelt's new traveling library, Alice signs on enthusiastically. Soon she'll be joined by 4 other singular women who are known as the Packhorse Librarians of Kentucky. Cool. Set in Depression-era America and based on a true story, The Giver of Stars is a breathtaking tale of a remarkably journey of richly rewarding novel of women's friendship, true love, and what happens when we reach beyond our grasp. What happens when we reach beyond the grasp for the great beyond. That's cool. I love historical fiction, so I am excited to read this. That's literally the first time I've read the back, and I've known I had to read this for a month, so that's going to be our free pick. So our actual TBR is pretty short. It's only 4 books, but they are kind of some long ones. So we have The Raven Scholar is the first book, and then we have An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. This looks longer than I think it actually is. Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I'm going to try to reread Red Rising first just to like get a refresher, and I remember really loving the book, so I think I'll love that experience as well. I think I read it like fall of last year, so it's been 6 months, so I think I would like a refresher. And then the last book on the official TBR is The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. The only 4 books that I have to read in order to win my TBR game for next month. So I feel pretty good about it. We have a lot of page count here, and not many of these, only 1 works for another challenge that I'm doing. So it's going to be tough because I'm also going to have to read a couple of other books to make sure like within the month I read those ones. So we'll see. I'm really hoping. I'm excited about all of these books. Probably I'm least excited about this one, but I have to read it for book club in the next week. So it is what it is. But that is my May official TBR. Now, obviously that's not all the books that I'll be reading, because I am working on a number of challenges and like yearly challenges and games and all of that stuff. So let's go over everything that I want to also read this month. It's kind of a lot, honestly, and I forgot about another one, which I don't think I'm actually going to end up getting to now, but I do want to mention it just in case. But the next book in the, what is this series called? The Moonfall series comes out this month. I have it pre-ordered, and I really wanted to read When the Moon Hatched again, but look at that. She thick. I read this originally on my Kindle because it was on Kindle Unlimited. I don't think it is anymore, which is why I decided to buy a copy. But I've already read this book. I do want to read it again. I don't think I'll get to it this month now. Maybe at the end of the month. It's possible, but I don't see myself like really getting to this now because my TBR, it's just, I was hoping to fit this somewhere, but I guess I could have fit it on for like Shadow and Flame. There's Shadow on this cover, but I don't know if it really is Smoke or Shadow. I don't know. It didn't really fit. So, but it is an 800-page book. I really want to read it, but it's probably not going to happen. But I wanted to throw it out there anyway. Now, the other challenges that I do are the buzzword title, so it's the buzzword title, the buzzword cover, and then the read good challenge. For the buzzword word, the word this month is make or making, and I'll have all that information linked down below if you're not sure what I'm talking about. I'm going to read The Unmaking of June Farrow. I don't know a lot about this book. I kind of want to go in blind. I have it on my Kindle. I think I bought it because like I'd heard of it and it was popular and it was probably $1.99 or something like that. So that's usually why I buy things on my Kindle. So I'm going to read The Unmaking of June Farrow. Make, maker, making, whatever. That's the buzzword. So we'll get that one done this month. I think it's also historical fiction. Might be historical fiction, magical realism. Not entirely sure. To be honest, I have no idea what that book is about, but that's what we're picking. It was the shortest of the choices for Make and Maker. I think I only had 3 choices. One was a second book in a series I haven't read yet, and then the other one was like 550 pages, and I was like, I don't think I can get that on my TBR this month. And then the buzzword cover is a border or frame, and if you look at the cover of the Raven Scholar, it does have a border. So I'm going to be using that for the buzzword cover. For the Read Good challenge is to read a book that was published before 2000. Now I had a lot of choices for this, and I had one that could have worked for Shadow or Flame, but it was like a 750-page reread. And I do want to read that book, but I do own this one already. So I'm going to read Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I believe I also do have available audio for this, so that will make it a little bit easier. This says that it was published in 1995. This copy was obviously not 1995, but this copy was 2023, but copyright at 1995 by Robin Hobb. So that is before 2000. I'm very excited to read this. I've heard really good things about the Farseer trilogy. Am I starting another series? Yes, I am. Am I also starting The Ember and the Ashes and the Raven Scholar? Yes, I am. Am I continuing any series? No, I'm not, but that's fine. So we're gonna go with this one for the Read Good challenge. I am very excited to read this. I think it'll be right up my alley. I love fantasy, and this seems to be like a high fantasy type thing. Young Fitz is a bastard son of a noble prince chivalry, raised in the shadow of the royal court by his father's gruff stableman. Fitz is treated as an outcast by all the royalty except the devious King Shrewd, who has him secretly tutored in the arts of assassin. For Fitz's blood runs this magic skill, the darker knowledge of a child raised with the stable hounds and rejected by his family. So the barbarous raiders ravage the coast. Fitz is growing to manhood. Soon he will face his first dangerous soul-shattering mission and come through and through some regard him as a threat to the throne. And though some regard him as a threat to the throne, he may just be the key to survival of the kingdom. Okay, I clearly can't read out loud, but we're going to be reading Assassin's Apprentice for that. Okay, I've also been doing the Sims 4. I don't know if it's based off the Sims 4, but it's based off of the Sims, and it is the Simlit Society reading challenge. I will have that link down below. I did do a video where I picked out like what my aspiration and traits and played the game to begin. I've worked almost halfway through that TBR. So for that TBR, let me actually just read it out to you because I have it in my handy dandy trusty notebook here. But my prompts for that were read a thriller with a heist class disparity. So this is for Oasis Springs. That's the city I got. So read a thriller with a heist, a book with class disparity, or set in a desert. That one I'm doing Beneath because this has class disparity. So I'll be getting to this one this month, but I haven't started it yet. Read a book from your favorite genre. I read the Song of Achilles last month, which is up here. This is where I put all the books that I finished for the month, but have to review and then shelve. So Song of Achilles I read, and mythological fantasy is like kind of my favorite. So like mythological historical fiction fantasy. I thought that fit in really well with what my favorite genre would be. Finish a series. We'll Always Have Summer, which I did finish. We talked about that, it feels like 10 years ago. Next is I need to read a horror. And the horror book that I chose was A Dowry of Blood. I thought about doing this for the official TBR as well, but I was like, I'm more likely to read The Raven Scholar, I think, than this one, although I do really want to read this as well. So A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is like the only actual physical horror that I own, I think. Besides, I think I have some on my Kindle, but this is like my only physical horror book, so we're going to read that one for this prompt. And then my last prompt was read a book about a discovery or a collection. Now, I wasn't sure what that meant exactly, so I checked in with the maker, and she said that a collection of short stories counts as a collection. I thought it had to be a book about collections. So I'm going to read Seasons of Glass and Iron by Amel El Motar. And this is some short stories that she wrote. The first one, Seasons of Glass and Iron, won some sort of award, and this is just a book of short stories. So I'm going to be reading that as well. She wrote The River Has Roots and This Is How You Lose the Time War. She wrote that one in collaboration with Max Gladstone, but this is her second release, all her own, and I really liked both of those books. They were good. So I had picked up this one, and it'll work for the prompt of reading short stories or a collection. I could have also gone with something more like this, but this is also a very long book, is Egyptian Myths and Legends. I have one about Vikings too, and the words are tiny and the pages are long. There's many of them. So this is also a collection of stories. I have one for about Vikings too, but I haven't read those yet. But that's not what we're picking. We're picking Seasons of Glass and Iron. And then the only other book that I think I wanted to talk about, because I'm good on Goodreads, I don't need to focus on that this month. And then the Stardew Valley one, I'm already halfway through the prompts, and I have until the end of June to do those, so I don't need to pick books to go with that. So the last one that I want to discuss is going to be the April new release, because I need to read an April new release for Herkyed. And I'm going to go with the Thorn Queen, which is the follow-up to the Rose Bargain, which is over there. It's the second book in that series. I read that one last year, and I liked it. And this is like a YA, less than 300 pages, fantasy. Should be good. So that's all of the books that I'm planning on reading this month. It is a lot, but my official TBR is only 4 books, which I am stoked about, right? So I can make these priority probably. And yeah, I'm excited to read these. So we have these plus The Raven Scholar, which is which is definitely over 600 pages. But then we have these 3 books. So I should be able to do it. We'll see. I'm not as confident about this TBR as I was last month, even though that month that TBR was 7 books. I almost didn't finish it, but I will definitely get a good chunk of Beneath read today and tomorrow, and then I won't have lost. But if I don't, I'll roll over my punishment to the next month that I fail or that I win. I'll do a punishment, but I think I'm gonna be fine. So that is it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you like my game, definitely give this video a thumbs up, and let me know what you're reading this month, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.